Hi, this is Sashay from Sashay Deb, and we're about to install WordPress. When everything goes well, WordPress is one of the fastest CMS installs I've ever done. It's like really fast. Most hosting providers offer one-click installs for just about everything you'd need, Docker, Heroku, WordPress even, but I still believe it's a good idea to learn how to do these types of things on your own. What you're gonna need is a web hosting provider that supports MySQL, PHP, and FTP access, which is literally every single one of them at this point. But it's a good idea to check, especially with the free ones. They might limit your access to what you can and cannot do based on some sort of pay tier system. I already have my server up and running with the LAMP stack and VSFTPD. Uh, this bad boy right here, Claptrap, he's doing all that work for me. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we're going to want to do is download WordPress. So for whatever reason, if you go to WordPress, it's going to take you to the WordPress site where you can purchase WordPress hosting services. So you're going to want to type WordPress download into the search bar, and that'll take you to the like developer version of WordPress where you can download it. Now it does come with an installation guide, and you can reference that if you want. It's a good idea, but there's probably more comprehensive guides, um, like on DigitalOcean or a Linode and other sites like that. This is like a very like bare bones guide. See, very simple. It's supposed to be straightforward. If everything goes good, it's always super fast. In my experience, the few times I've had problems, it's usually something to do with permissions or something weird on the server side or with how FTP uploads files. But generally, it's something that's fixed pretty quickly. It's never something that's completely catastrophic. Drupal, on the other hand, man, that one's a bit of a process, especially if you're trying to update it. Nightmare. Anyway, let's go ahead and get those files ready. So I already made an FTP folder that I'm going to use for uploading the files. So let's see right here. Boom. FTP. Awesome.com is going to be the name of the website. Just copy that over there. And then we're going to unzip it. Where is that at? All right, perfect. We got our files right here. So at this point, we're going to need to upload them to the server. And I'm going to use FileZilla. FileZilla is a pretty cool FTP client. There's one SCP, and you can even use just regular old the command line to log in with SFTP if you want, or just FTP. Wouldn't suggest that though, especially if you're gonna be hosting it on a server across the internet. You never know who's going to be listening in on your transfers, and if you have any information like your password or your anything like that, you just never know. A lot of times these hackers have everything automated, so any traffic at all that they can get a hold of, they've got it just siphoning into these like crazy databases somewhere. So it's not like there's just like some one person out there like listening in. It's almost like completely automated at this point, like street sweeper. All right, so I already set it up, but let's go over here, and what you do is you click on the little server icon up there, or you can go to File and Site Manager, and it's going to ask you how you want to set this up. So with my setup, I have encryption over regular FTP, and that's my username right here. Ask for password is how it's set. You can have it anonymous, normal, and all that stuff. But for this, I'm just going to have it set to ask for password, and the port is automatically, for whatever reason, I put it in there and it just erases it, but it's defaulting to 21. And if I put SFTP or SSH file transfer, it defaults to 22. Anyway, let's go ahead and connect. Oops, wrong one. Did I break it already? Oh, that's right. My mistake. earlier I was having issues with the FTP and I couldn't figure it out. And the VSFTPD, when you remove shell access from a user account that has FTP access, it will block them from being able to authenticate until you update the configuration file. And I was like, I jumped through so many hoops to get that working. Anyway, public HTML, there's nothing in there. Where is. There we go. And let's upload these puppies. So before this goes, hopefully I can go to awesome.com real quick. I think it's already going. That was just asking if I want to allow it to overwrite files. That directory should be empty. Should have been empty, but I don't know. I did not check. The FTP was showing it was empty, so I didn't think it was necessary to log into the shell and check. So let's see. Sweet. So now we're going to need a database username and password. And of course the database host, but in this case it's localhost. Sometimes you might have a database hosted on a different server, in which case you'll need a URL to put into this box. But because our MySQL server is on the same server as the WordPress or the web server, we just put localhost. All right, so let's go over here. Got my little cheat sheet right here. We're gonna have to log into MySQL. Most hosting providers have phpMyAdmin, and there are directions on how to create a user and a database using phpMyAdmin. It's super easy, but it has some issues authenticating users with certain versions of PHP and certain versions of MySQL. It's a lot of hoops to jump through when I could just type in some simple MySQL commands. At least for me, that's perfect. But on most hosting providers, you would not need to do this unless you wanted to, or if you were more comfortable doing it this way. phpMyAdmin is really cool, super easy to use. All right, so in order to log into MySQL from the shell, you just type in MySQL. Typically you do sudo, but I'm already in as root. So MySQL QL u root. Man, I'm just messing that up. U root up. No up. All right. So the database we're going to create is called AwesomeDB. Then we're going to create a user, call him some dude at localhost identified with a MySQL native password, baloney1. Oh, I forgot I had the strong password. No way. Let's check this out. Baloney1 star. Now I really feel like that dude from The Hangover. Just transforming my password one key at a time. And then we're going to give all privileges to some dude for our awesome database. Done. Then we got to flush privileges. And we're done. So if we come over here and we put in our guy, some dude, then we need that password. I think I said awesome DB. Sweet. We're done. Now it's going to want to ask the name of the site. So I already have a user made, so I'm going to go ahead and use him. Actually, just in case. And we're in like swimwear. Told you. When everything goes how it's supposed to, WordPress is like one of the easiest installs that you can do. It's very fast, very easy. You've got all the stuff that you need, your plugins. Um, do I have any updates yet? Let's go ahead and update this one, see if it works. Oh, it's not even activated. Well, unfortunately, I don't know if that's going to work because my server actually isn't on the internet. It's just bridging the connection to the internet, so it doesn't have any. It doesn't have a public IP address. Oh well, I'm sure I could just manually download them and update it or figure out some workaround. But that's WordPress right there. Super easy. If we go back to awesome.com, you'll see that the WordPress site is actually up. So, thank you for watching. I hope you learned something. If you have any questions, make sure to leave them in the comments, and I'll be sure to try to get back to them. Thank you.